Hello again, guys. I'm back. Today is November 24th, 2017. Welcome to my channel, Alien Society. Before I begin, I want to address an issue that I've noticed that it's being said a lot. There's these people that are out there that are top ufologists or whatever you want to call them, researchers. But I've noticed that in their lectures, they're starting to say that there's going to be a false alien invasion. And this is something that's going to be supposedly from these elite men who are on this planet. And, the corporate bankers and all that good stuff. Me personally, I don't believe that something like that would happen, because to do something like that would mean that they would never reveal to us that we're no longer alone in the universe. Why would they stage an alien invasion if they're going to reveal, if they're going to disclose that we're not alone in the universe? That doesn't make sense. So I noticed these people that claiming that, they're for disclosure, but at the same time you hear them saying that there's going to be a so-called plan of an alien invasion, and that's a way that this so-called New World Order comes in even faster than it should have already. Again, I personally don't believe that that's the case. That would contradict every single thing in terms of disclosure. Again, I think it's a political thing, because we have, whether you believe that disclosure is a good thing, or do you think that it's a bad thing? You got to remember that some countries, will consider this a betrayal in a way, because let's say if America, right, our country, let's just say that they happen to have contact, and during those contact years that passed, they managed to get information, not only information, but also exchanging technology for whatever it is that, I guess these beings may want. Who knows what they want? There's no way of telling. Other than there is a story by Zecharia Sitchin who mentioned the Anunnaki, how the Anunnaki created man to mine gold on this planet. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. And I don't know if any of you guys out there believe that that is the case. Of course, I can't prove that that is actually what happened or will happen, because it haven't happened yet. But in terms of disclosure, again, we have to decide that what is best for humanity. It's not just us, the citizens, that are going to say, hey, let's make a petition for our country, America, or other countries, their own citizens. They don't have the freedom that we do here, but I don't think that much of our petition is going to make disclosure happen. That would be completely, up to the United Nations, as I mentioned before, because as you guys know, the United Nations is, compiled of several nations, if not the entire nations of this planet. And as an agreement, you can't just come out and make such moves without the agreement of the other United Nations members, So I figured I start with that by telling you guys that, you got to watch out for these individuals. And this is not something that started today. This is something that we can say started years and years back. Because if you notice, Hollywood constantly promotes an alien invasion on this earth. If you notice, Now, if you was to count how many movies, I actually haven't done it, but I actually know that there are the majority of movies that Hollywood makes that's always about alien invasion. It's kind of sad that they do that, right? I mean, I remember back when I was growing up, I remember there was a TV show. It was called The Visitors. All right? I know some of you might know them. I know they tried to do a remake of this show a couple years ago. I think 2 or 3 years ago. It didn't do as good as the original did. But it was about these, these aliens came to Earth and try to be our friends. But in truth, they were reptilians behind human flesh. And it was never about, what can they get from us? It was more like they needed us, I guess, to feast on us. But, that's just Hollywood, right? Like I said, Hollywood likes to promote negative things when it comes to this UFO alien phenomenon. So, moving on, I just figured I'd bring that to you guys' attention. Moving on to the next subject. Some of you probably heard of a guy named Boyd Bushman. Now, I don't know what you guys may think of him. Me personally, I think that, if what he was saying was a lie, he was saying this stuff on his deathbed confession. This is what it was. It was a deathbed confession, and he wanted to let the people know that, yes, this planet is inhabited by extraterrestrials. And it's not just one singular race of extraterrestrials. It's several races. All right. So he was born on July 20th of 1936. He passed away August 7th of 2014. He claimed to have been a senior scientist for the Lockheed Martin. I guess it's a place where, aerial, where technology is made, like, airplanes and stuff like that. And although I don't understand quite enough about that place, I do know that that's supposed to be a place where, like I said, where they make jets, planes, and things like that. So anyways, in this video, you guys will see that he's showing photographs of extraterrestrial. They're not flying saucers. They're spaceships. Remember I told you guys there's a difference between a flying saucer and a spaceship. A spaceship is not from Earth. A flying saucer is a wannabe spaceship. You know what I mean? So basically it's us trying to mimic them, but not as good as they do it. So anyways, let me play the video for you guys so you guys can see the actual photograph that he showed. Many of you might have seen this before. Some people think that he was just a crazy old man, but you see, once again, when you think about it, what did this man have to lose by telling us what he told us on his deathbed? You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter to him, right? He's on his way out. So for him, he figures this would be like a calm for him. Okay? A calm before the storm. So he figures he wants to get all this off his chest, before the day of his passing happens. So anyways, check out.
To tell me about who was flying these things. He therefore said, fine, they're approximately 5 feet, 4.5 to 5 feet tall.
Now, before I continue playing the video, I just want you guys to know that before he was showing these photographs of these extraterrestrial beings, who he said they're 4 feet to 5 feet tall, he did show spaceships before these photographs, okay? I just wanted to start here because I wanted you guys to see that this doesn't seem fake, you know. Again, I don't think that he had anything to lose by doing this. So, let's play.
They had one or two of them around that were 230 years old. And
now, you guys heard that, right? He said that they were 230 years old. Clearly, they don't age like we do. You know, the age difference obviously is completely... They live longer than we do. Now, just imagine if we were able to exchange to some degrees the technology to be able to heal us from, wounds or diseases that, are terminal. Just imagine if we can have that type of technology that would rid all of those things. But you see, of course, if you're looking at the reality of all that, then that means that all the pharmaceuticals and all the people behind the pharmacies of the world, they will be losing a lot of money, billions of dollars, because, of course, these extraterrestrials will have the cure to all of our diseases on this planet. Now, wouldn't that be lovely, right?
And we have a total of at least 18 that exist and operate with our facility as Teller set it up. Now, notice the eyes are different, nose are different, but they do have 5 fingers, 5 toes, 2 eyes, and
so you notice that this is not a typical gray alien that he was showing. Obviously, it was a different type of race of alien, and he's going to continue to show a little more. He's going to show the back of the head, the back of the being. Hold on.
Rather strangely enough, I asked him how they communicate. He says, well, it's like this, boy. You all of a sudden have a question in your mind. You walk into a room with one of them, and all of a sudden you find yourself giving the answer to your question in your own voice. They're able to use your own voice by telepathy to talk to you. And I said, fine. Now that's how they look front. But when you turn around and look at the back, it's like that. Now notice that they have 3 backbones. They're actually cartilage. Nevertheless, it's a much more efficient system than ours. They also have 3 ribs in their system rather than more. This is also the back side of an alien. Here's a 45-degree look.
Now you see, clearly, you can see that he held on to these photographs for a very long time. Because if you see the beginning of the video, you will see that he actually brings out the photographs out of, his little folders there. And it seemed like he had them for quite a long time. So he was basically, he seemed like he was glad that he finally was able to take this, this heavy lift off his back and reveal something that he was a part of. Let's continue.
And here's the back of the head. Notice the veins and no hair. And now when we talk about aliens, I pushed the issue and he said, well, there's kind of 2 groups of aliens. Well, they divide them into 2 groups. One group he calls, it's like you have a ranch. And you have a ranch and you find that one group are your wranglers that know how to wrangle your cattle. And others are rustlers, ones that steal your cattle. And indeed, two groups do act differently. The ones that are wranglers are much more friendly and have a better relationship with us. Here's the other side of Alien 2.
Now I want to say this. You guys got to remember that this guy was a senior scientist. At least that's what he says, right? And there's many that have come forth, older, of course, of his age, if not a little older. I can't say that all the people that came forth to make these claims that are lying. I can say that probably a portion of them probably are agents of deception. And some, of course, like him, are not. Because he's actually showing us that, you know, yes, we're not alone in the universe. Yes, they're here. Yes, we have already established contact. So you see all that, when you see all these big satellites, like in Puerto Rico, you got the big Arecibo satellite, and now China has the biggest satellite in the world. You see, all that is a front. It's not really, you know, to let us know anything. They're going to keep saying that there's no signal, or, you know, it's not like they're going to tell us anything. There's a purpose for them to make those type of antennas, okay? Only these governments of the world know why they're made. Us, as civilians, we don't know. Basically, all we know is what they tell us, right? That it's basically listening for signals, you know, rare or weird type signals that confirms some sort of contact with an outside beings, right? Also, I want to talk real quick about another subject that I was thinking about, and that's something that really got my attention. It has something to do with Germany, for instance, because they say that the flying saucer era began with Germany. And of course, I already made a video of that to many of you who have, obviously, you probably heard of it, or maybe not. I figured I put it on my channel so you guys can see. I find it really interesting because they say that there was a female, for some reason she managed to be a psychic medium of some sort to extraterrestrials. Now, of course, that's the same thing we constantly hear in modern time as well. But we can't say that that person was lying because there's a lot of things that we can't really explain. Like, for instance, you know, the lady's name was, I think it was Maria, if I'm not mistaken, her name. Now, of course, she was from Germany. And she was able to communicate with these beings. I think they called them Aryans, and that's how that Nazi stuff began from, because I guess they felt as though that these beings were superior beings, and they were the ones to take over, basically, this star system. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but you know, they happen to be, you know, from a different star system, and they came over here, and with that communicated with the female, and obviously that's where it all started, this secret society called the Thule Society, okay? And that's how it all started, because of the Krill. I guess that's what they call them, the Krill. And they started this big old following. So that never stopped. So, of course, when the World War II was taking place, there was, of course, American pilots. At the time, they called what they didn't identify, they called them Foo Fighters. Okay? They were moving very quickly, not like anything they have seen. And obviously, it seems like Germany was ahead over everyone. We can say yes and we can say no, because I personally don't think that Germany happened to be the only country at the time to have direct contact with extraterrestrials. I don't think Germany was the only one. I just believe that Germany happened to be the first ones to promote flying saucers, because they got clearly the plans and the ideas from the beings and told them how to make them. But of course, we couldn't make it as perfect as they can, because we're not on that stage yet where we got understanding. So anyways, you figure that was way back in the 1940s. Okay, now just remember, like I told you guys before, that just imagine the technology that we have today, way advanced than it was back in the 40s or the 30s or the 20s or way before that, right? It seems like, of course, that we're moving ahead. And yes, people would say that the scientists, which of course they really did, the scientists from Germany end up coming to America, and you guys already know the rest. Okay? So basically, you know that they gave the plans and made several records of those plans and passed it on to the next generation, and on and on and on and on. And then you got these what we call secret black projects here in America, and maybe in the world, period, you know, because not every country is going to tell you what they're doing. You know, I mean, hell, our own country's not going to tell us what they're doing, you know, especially when for years and years and years they kept denying that Area 51 was not a real place. You guys remember that, right? So just imagine if we were lied that Area 51 didn't really exist, and now they accept that Area 51 kind of exists, right? So just imagine what else we're not being told. Do I think we're ready for that? Probably. Not entirely. Because again, you know, I feel that, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I think that people will start challenging certain things, and you know, religion will be a part, you know, of this this new frontier, because again, people will have questions and they might not like the answers to those questions, you know. So not only that, there's a lot of things, you know, that people have to consider. And again, I feel that it's the UN that have to decide, you know, all of the countries of the world have to decide what they want to do with that. But again, I do feel that if they feel that we are going to be invaded, which of course I don't believe, because if that was the case, it would already happen. You know, that's why I believe a lot of these people, they like to spark up fear, you know, and then you have people trying to accuse me of being one who promotes fear, one who promotes a deception. And obviously that's not what I'm doing on my channel. Clearly they're not understanding the things that I say. Now when I say the things I say, I clearly am looking at things carefully. And so I say things very carefully because I know how people think. Everything's a conspiracy theory. Don't know why. You know, I don't believe that everything is a conspiracy. I just believe that some things are better left unsaid. Or, you know, because just imagine the things that can be told. Let me make an example. For instance, if you believe that the the object from the Bible. I think I actually forgot what it was called. That the Israelites carried it around, and no one knows to this very day where it's actually located. So they say, right? Just imagine the other things like the Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus really exists. What happened to those gods of those times that lived on Mount Olympus? Now you see, you have to look between the lines, people. It's not just saying, oh, well, that's a myth, this is a myth. No, they're saying that it's a myth because in our day to day, it's a different setting. Okay? So it's like saying, forget about the ancients who actually worship all those type of gods or beings that they thought were gods, right? Because if you notice, everything is really associated with a mountain. When you tie Moses, right, of the Bible, Moses, you do recall in the Bible where it's definitely talking about he went to meet the Creator, okay, on top of the mountain. Why did he have to go on top of a mountain? You see, those are questions that people like me ask. Will I understand that? No. Could it have been symbolically meant that he ascended in some way? Maybe. But that's not what it sounds to me when the story sounds quite literal. When they're saying he actually went up the mountain and he came back down. And when he came down with 2 tablets. Right? And then these 2 tablets were laws that the Israelites were supposed to live by, according to what, you know, the grand architect of the universe gave them. That's why I said this is a crazy world. Some questions will be answered in our lifetime, and maybe some questions will not be answered in our lifetime. But I think the most important thing is that you know, or you receive that temporary truth, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah, well, I figured I'd give you guys a little update, and basically to make you guys aware that, you know, these agents of deceptions are going to continue to promote fear, and I think that's completely wrong. Other than that, I would like to say that thank you for those who have been subscribing to my channel. As always, you know, it's nice, it's an honor, and I basically subscribe back to all those who subscribe to me. I do this so that people can see, man, that there are 2 sides to everything. I may not know everything, but I'm trying to know what I can. That's why I consider myself a seeker. Because if you're a seeker, then that means that you are not going to stop until you get the answers that you are looking for. Whether you agree with the answers or agree with the answers, at least you know that you accomplished the answer to those questions you had. And that's what I do here. If I feel that there's stories that kind of sound true, I'll tell you guys about it. But if I see that it smells of a hoax, as you guys already know, I definitely let you guys know about it too. Because why let these people continue to, lie simply because they want to keep telling you the same thing over and over and over again like a broken record, and then promote their books. So, you guys know. because I always mention that, considering that all these lecturers out there, maybe not all of them, but a good portion of them, they're always about their books. You know, hey, buy my book. Hey, it's coming out in November. Hey, my book is coming out in December. And, you know, I mean, okay. What are you going to tell us in that book? The same thing they told us before. Now you see where I'm coming from, guys? Exactly. And that's the thing that we got to stop. We got to stop these individuals that just using this, this field just to make a living off of it. You know, and I feel that's wrong. I feel that if you're going to, try your best to bring the truth to people, then try your best. Don't try your best in pretending. Try your best in bringing the truth to the people. Because that's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear nonsense. They don't want to hear these so-called contactees that keep talking about their stories, but they don't promote, they don't show any evidence of any kind. But yet, I'm the bad person when I say this guy is a con artist, right? As soon as you say that those individuals are con artists, then they try to turn the attention back to you and try to make you look like a very negative person. That's always how it always happens, when you try to expose those false promoters of aliens, alien contact, alien abductions. Just like the story I gave you guys recently. Okay? You guys know who I'm talking about. And then, after the person takes a lie detector test, starts arguing with the tester as if the tester was altering the results. That's how these individuals are, man. Just like these so-called psychics out there that want to tell you that they can see or hear voices, but yet it's simple. When you go in one room supposedly filled with other people and you're the psychic, obviously you know that they're there for one reason and one reason only. Okay, and that's to contact their lost ones. Simple. Are there real psychics out there? Yeah, I actually believe there are. Edgar Casey, I'm sure you guys know of him. Now you see, that was a guy who really was a person that really got visions and stuff like that. And you can tell because the way he wasn't really asking people for money. Now, of course, some people will argue with me and say, oh, well, that was his technique to make it seem like he didn't want it, but he got it. No, because he wasn't like these other ones, like in today's world, where they all do their thing to get on TV, so they can get a couple $100,000s here and there, And that's how that works. Play the game, get that fame, right? But anyways, guys, if you like this video, hit the like button. And as always, if you don't like the video, feel free to comment down below and, kind of fill me in on why you don't like this video. I like input to those of you who want to critique my my style of videos. How if I move the camera, or I don't sound too professional for you, or I don't know what else to say, because it's always something that people disagree with, and that's fine, because that's just part of life. Can't agree with everything, right? There's going to be people that hate certain things. There's going to be people that like certain things. There's going to be people that, like whatever it may be. But again, you guys know that when you're on this channel, there's nothing that I'm holding back in terms of all the things I look for when it comes to alien contacts, alien abductions, UFOs supposedly, right? Because of course a lot of people make claims of seeing UFOs, and of course you guys know that it's no longer called that. It's called unexplained aerial phenomenon. I don't know why they changed the name, but you know, that's just the way it goes. I don't think it's unidentified. I just think that it's basically flying saucers that are made on planet Earth, or spaceships that, you know, people are not familiar with. That's all. So anyways, guys, I'm going to close this video here. On to the next video. And hopefully I can, you know, bring you more truth. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Subscribe if you like. I subscribe back to all those who subscribe to me. I know nobody like getting criticized, but you know what? I still answer the critical people. You know, the ones that want to criticize. I answer back. Simply because, hey, you're teaching me something I didn't know, right? So if you feel that I said something wrong or misspoke something, it's good to have that certain individual to let you know. So to the next video, people. I see you then.